Hello, hello. Welcome, Java Owl. We're doing an open mic tonight, so stick around. Poetry, acoustic music. I'm Dustin Pickering, and this is for the Harbinger Asylum Farewell. Harbinger Asylum began in 2010 as a zine, little zine, kind of a punk rock style. We're live streaming, by the way, so you'll be on YouTube if you want to join us and sign up here at this open mic sign up sheet. We have some wares, quote unquote, books and whatnot to sell. Just ask about pricing. We'll make you a deal. I'm sure we can cut you a little slack on the prices. This is Zach, my colleague, ZM Wise. I'm Dustin Pickering, editor-in-chief of Harbinger Asylum, founder of Transcendent Zero Press. So we have this open mic. You can sign up here, and I'm gonna bring ZM on the mic, and he's gonna talk a little bit about the genesis of Harbinger Asylum. Basically, we started in 2010, and it was my brainchild at first, and I brought him in about 2012, and so I will have him discuss a little bit. So we have 4 features tonight, by the way, 4 features tonight. So we're waiting for a couple of them to come in. But welcome, Java Owl people. Glad to see you all here. And again, we're live streaming, so if you don't want to be recorded or whatever, maybe we can put a black on it.
Just write it next to your name.
Yeah, just write it next to your name. You can put your name on here as the sign in. Anyway, Zach, so tell us, ZM Wise, tell us a little bit about your genesis as a poet and your relationship with Harbinger Asylum.
Good evening, all. So I've been writing since my first steps as a child, and written all sorts of things, but poetry always came more natural to me more than other formats. And later in life, I met this fellow here at Barnes & Noble in 2010 and became fast friends. And he has the same passion, that he had with poetry in and of itself, and took me under his wing in 2012, made me assistant editor. Personally, while I love supporting just the already established artists in general, my favorite part was supporting the underdogs, the aspiring people, or just artists who were just afraid to exit their metaphorical shell. My favorite part was just giving them that friendly nudge. Everyone deserves to be heard. Everyone has a voice. Everyone has words. Everyone has a visual picture, visualization. And I was able to express that. I was able to coax others to submit to Harbinger Asylum, some who have never submitted anywhere else before, some around the world. We've had people from all walks of life in this incredible amazing magazine. And I'd like to ask Dustin, after they're finishing exchanging social security numbers, what has been the highlight for you with Harbinger Asylum and Transcendent Zero Press?
Transcendent Zero Press published this gentleman here, Ken Jones, with Marcy Eames in about 2015, was it? I think it was your 3rd book. This is Ken Jones, by the way. He's a Houston legend. And as far as legends go, yeah.
Legend that'll last till lunchtime.
Yes, a quick legend, jumping in and jumping out of Houston waters. But that was a fine moment for us. We did a great event, and we had a great book launch for both of those poets. We mostly stuck to poetry, but we have art. We have some wonderful essays, and even have an essay on the political implications of Shakespeare by a Shakespearean scholar in this wonderful journal of ours we just published. We're going to publish one more farewell, which this gentleman here, my good friend ZM, is going to be editing. We also have some art over here in the corner.
Yes. So
feel free to take a look, and I believe she's selling some of this, some of her stuff. Gabby is her name, so take a look if you want. So Zach, I'm going to ask you, how does it feel to be ending this wonderful project that's lasted over a decade and it's reached international recognition?
I'd say I'd say a neutral balance. Personally, one, I'm sort of mourning a literary loss, and on the other hand, I think well, as advertised in this video I put together, I think it'll be a glorious downfall, a victorious death. All good things must come to an end, and I think we're ending it on just amicable terms, just silent terms with the work itself, and I've been happy to be a part of it. This isn't the end for Transcendency or Press, mind you. Just for this specific journal. We've become an invitations-only press, which means that we won't really take unsolicited manuscripts, but we're in it for the long haul. I've been honored to work alongside you for just the longest time. I think, like, just not only as friends but as business partners, we've been through thick and thin. Do we have tales for you? But it's everything from the crazy Austin International Poetry Festivals to local events to traveling outside the rim. It's been a tremendous honor. So, like, thank you for this. Thank you.
And thank you for being a part of this. Thank you all for also being a part of our journey, for coming out tonight and having a listen and a look at what we're doing at Java Owl. And thank Java Owl.
Yes.
Thank you so much for this hosting of this event.
Tip your baristas.
Absolutely. Show some generosity and, be a, feels good. Yeah. If you want to be a wonderful person. Well, I want to remind everyone we're being live streamed here with this computer here in front. And one of our features is here. I'm going to bring her up right now. Carrie Kornacki, welcome. Let's hear a round of applause for Carrie. Carrie Kornacki. Okay, I was confused.
Just go like that. Hello, it's so good to be here. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay. So I'm going to start with a poem. You can all hear me okay? Loud. Is the microphone not up or something?
Speak again.
Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can y'all hear me? Usually I have a very loud voice. I'm a teacher.
All the way up.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I guess it's all the way up there.
Okay, so I'm gonna read my first poem. It's one I just wrote. I'm being brave here. It's called Cicadas in Key of E major. And do you mind if Kelly, could you bring me my glasses? They're in the side pocket. I just realized I didn't have them. Sometimes a whole forest is stuffed inside me. Oaks and ashes fling up thick fecund barricade, my fingers pressing into every hollow, every glittering shaft of light. To find a tear in this swelling, this heaviness, this swelling, sweltering synopsis, a pulsing staccato at the back of my neck, like dust when cicadas sing in key of E major, 97 decimals screaming. Now I can actually see. Okay, so the next one I'm going to read has not been published or submitted. It's kind of a response to Barbie Core. This is called Making Barbie Human. What do you give to the girl who has everything but a pulse? A dream house staccato, rather pink stucco, blue tile roof, play money mortgage, cheap help to sanitize the hot tub, polish the Corvette, personal shop for her taste for fun and frilly chic, hot pink mini dresses, platform pumps. Don't forget the paint on tans, heart-shaped glasses, Veracino, fire, flame, and glitter. Will you give her Ken, all brown and buff, who talks of other girls in his open-eyed sleep? His tan soon yellowed with a lack of sun and adversity. Years later, both of them stewing in their own gastric juices as they count their grandchildren like loose teeth, complain about the neighbor's noise, the hiss of piss and vinegar, brat's dull youth. Will you give her health clubs and yoga, Botox and eye lifts, her plumped up lips ready for the latest in organic eating, turmeric, kombucha, goji berry chutney, or maybe the new Barbie core, everything you eat is pink diet? How about the knowledge of good and evil? Show her how to puncture vain lies, poor investment, the ebb and flow of exhaustion, with a hope of Hemingway's bullet for breakfast. What do you give the girl who has everything but a pulse? Give her a chance. Let her wake in clean light through broken white blinds. At night, a bohemian candle, quivering shadows as she searches. Questions pressing against her rib cage like sand that vexes a pearl into bloom. Okay, I'm going to read a poem that was just published in Acatio Review. And I am a teacher, like I said, high school. I do teach in with the largest population of immigrants in the city at Wisdom High School. This is called Cutting In. Soha has a wrist full of scars, lined up like railroad ties, welts freedom. She hides in her black hoodie, head buried in hands, shoulders heaving sobs. Grabs for a box of tissue, a bottle of water, my listening ear, inept offerings. She tells me a story in this quiet, dim light, a story no other teacher hears. The Taliban that did half the job, that car bomb, a scorch of shrapnel fire searing a littered street in Kabul like a righteous knife. Grandfather in scattered knots, never gathered. Her father, the driver, in a coma, caught in a sluice of dulled terror. 10 years later, he still hides. Someone wants to bring her father home, wants to protect her family, everyone but herself. Her razor cutting in, fresh blood red flowing, a torch like running feet away. Thank you. How many more minutes? 2 more times? 5 minutes? Okay, great. Okay, so here's another one. I've got a couple that were published in Chaos Diver Union. So I'm going to go ahead and read those. This one, straws. They have drilled a hole in the top of my husband's head, driven down a tube to shot back words, incoherent from his vein-tangled morphine mind. All the madness and syllables of blood running through tubes like flat red soda and straws. All the madness in measured rationale, a clutch of truth from tongues of doctor talk, a crisscross of friendly incendiary fires. Later, he will tell me he saw his own brain on TV. But I know fear too. A coven of cold winged screams in my chest, a Chinese finger trap. The tighter its grip. Even when I lift my eyes to the white speckled ceiling and pray. So this is another one in Metabolist Press. Okay, so I lived in China a while back, and I was.
Let's try talking to the side.
Okay, is it better? Is it popping?
No, it's just it's loud. It's one of those microphones. Let me see if I can put it real quick. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. So you just want to get a little bit.
Okay, I'm not good with the microphone. I read a lot. Is it better now? Can you hear me now? Okay, good. So I lived in China for a while, and I was one of the first few nights I was there. I was like freaking out and claustrophobic, and I had this tiny room, and I was running on the school grounds, and I saw this huge tree branch that was torn. And I dragged it into my room and put it next to my bed so I could feel a little bit of the outside. And it did help my claustrophobia. So this is called the branch in the postage stamp room. I trip over bars of light, gem polyps of claustrophobia and panic current through me as I run on cement walks, over stone bridges, past whitewashed buildings, pagoda tile roofs. My ink shake pounding into the scent of earth, into willow herb, amber lily, persimmon trees, burning inward with their suns. Around a still silver pool I pace, feel lotus root citadels unstained, pursing hidden lips at me. See moon hats kneading my mutable shadow, hear torso rock formations breathe as the things I've broken stitch together into this frightening fecundity. Here over the polar ice cap, where it is noon at midnight, I have no place to put the things I've severed. Until I see the French oak branch torn from its trunk. This branch will bring things from outside in, save my mind from imploding into a nighttime crucible. In my postage stamp room with no windows, I will hang snapshots of who I thought I was, hang them from the blue silhouette of this twisting branch next to my white bed. I will see my daughter, my husband, my lover, my God, and pretend they are still part of me. Pretend nothing is lost as I watch everything fade away. Thank you. Done? One more. Okay. So this is a family one. I like writing about my family. I like and I don't like writing about it. Some of the poems I don't want my family members to hear though. This one is called My Sister's Room. It's an old one. It was published a while back in Houston Festival Anthology. It's called My Sister's Room. Drunks make lies with extrasensory perception. Shout avalanches of hot tongue into black hole eddies with backpedaling sentiment, too little, too late. Where my sister lives. I live here too. It is a dust toss space with no windows or doors. A place of spine picked clean adversity where my sister clutches at walls, pulls them around her, and forgets how to breathe. Sometimes I think I am outside. I suck in words like earth. My feet pound the line that divides sand and sea, as if it's the split-second slice between breath and ashes. I see patterns everywhere. Picasso fish slashed and framed by wet brown weed, shells and heaps sun-dried white, taut knobs and motionless, leathery lines of a horse on its back, sand-dusted, faded, light-lipped. I stop, sit at the peak of a triangle as waves hit me from 3 directions. Stums pass as a quiet show of wings where beaks, the plover, the piper, the heron, rummage for silver caviar, then fly. But I am still in my sister's room, where migratory words linger savage green, their eye and me, festering in the eye of predestination. I want to save her. Want to tattoo something indelible in the middle of everything dying. But I'm just a used up baby doll, half buried. My eyes anointed in mud, see no evil. My ears clogged shut, my lips threaded black and dry. In this room where my sister and I live. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Carrie Kornacki. And we're live streaming tonight. It's the World Inkers Network. So if you want to read later on, sign up for here. We also have some things for sale. I want to welcome to the stage Hussein. And she's a wonderful poet, local poet. So let's give her a round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Dustin, for having me. This is really great. This is actually the first time I've come this far. I've been to Nassau, but haven't been anywhere else in Nassau Bay. So this is great, and what a lovely turnout. So I'm going to read from my book of poetry. This is my first book of poetry. It was published last year by Terry Print Books. It's called Elegy for My Tongue. And it's a book about family history, immigration, violence. I'm going to start with a poem about school shootings. There was something I read somewhere and which prompted this poem. It's called Like Homemade. One boy said it was like cotton candy, moist bits on face and arms, warm batter splattered on walls, smudged notebooks splayed in the halls. From under the desk, the ceiling appeared muffin-popped, the air hard, like taffy at the point of no return. Crackling caramel, the light of 100,000 suns piercing the classroom window. Maple sugar when it burned. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to read the epigraph to the book. So I'm from Pakistan originally. I've lived in Houston for the last 30 years. The native language that I grew up with was Urdu. It's a combination of the Turkish, Arabic, and Persian languages. So the epigraph for my book is a verse from a Pakistani poet. His name is Harbinger. And I'm going to read it to you in Urdu first so you get a little sense of what it sounds like. तू मुझे भूल भी जाए तो कोई बात नहीं, मैं तेरी याद को जीने का सहारा कर लूं. And here's the translation that I did. That you should is of no consequence. I will turn your memory into a reason for my existence. for my reading today is unfortunately violence. Um, this next poem is about a bombing that happened in Pakistan in a shrine. There's a lot of saints shrines in Pakistan. This is called the Tomb of the Saint Lal Shahbaz Qalandar at Sevan Sharif. And I hope you will enjoy not the violence, but just a little glimpse of what I'm sharing with you today. Let's not lament the blue and gold tessellations on white tiles, or shining marbles stained with the bloodbath of penitent pilgrims. Let's not lament. A dome stands testament to the mother's gaze as she scars the last outposts of the city. There will be other days after the floors are swept and the children are laid down in the landscape, and the white-haired woman dances to her pain, hands of her red robe swirling to the chorus of wooden reeds. Thank you. Now this is kind of a lighter one. It's called 30-minute oil change in a free country. This is the summer of cicadas. I cannot say tree trimming is not a worthy aesthetic, like labeling spice jars, or like these polite exchanges with a young veteran taken by the psychedelic swirls of my blouse. It may all be worth the old couch at Happy Cars, radiators sizzling between slanted inquiries. His shaky voice, my unshakable accent, his brain, trembling hands clutching a welder's helmet, my taut blouse, his line of sight aimed at my chest, the banality of an auto shop in the suburbs of the city, his passing remark about PTSD and 6 years of service to country. Add my gratitude, dear boy. I wish you better memories. Related to the viscera. When the song played, I forget which one, a vista lay before me. Wide-eyed children who knew their futures were nowhere. There were trees, beautiful barks, from which hung crocheted lichen, and all but a few branches held on to their leaves. The air was raw and fine like washed muslin, and it was impossible to breathe without taking in Houston's bayous, thick with mud and debris. I wanted to fill every hour with a poem. The avenue, glistening with leaves, was irreparable. Thank you. I have 3 daughters and 4 grandchildren. And it was not, life is not easy. It's not, it wasn't easy getting to where I am just now. This is about a visit to Cuyahoga. Well, it's not about the visit, but the poem was prompted by a visit to Cuyahoga National Park in Ohio. And I think this was the first time I experienced forest. So, this is what came out of here, and I was with my daughters. And the title of the poem is After Inhabiting Spaces Where Nothing That Mattered Could Grow. After inhabiting spaces where nothing that mattered could grow, we walked in disbelief under the arrogance of the trees, the inquiry of leaves, hush of earth, the wind beneath between the rocks, lichen and moss, flecks of sun on fecund rock, and the silence eavesdropping on our cowering breaths. My daughters, the narrow passage between the two rock walls where we hesitated at first, then the pink stones, the spread of ferns on the forest floor, such green rushing towards us. Thank you. Dustin, one more?
Sure.
Okay. And it's called Let's Talk About the Leaves. So sometimes boys talk about than what they want to talk about. So this is what that's about. Let's talk about the leaves. Lately, there's been an abundance lying hapless in the streets, their curling edges tracing closer to a web of veins. A poet confirmed that it was considerably safer to babble on and on about trees, study their years, consider time in the circumference of their rings, comment vastly on sunlight falling through crackling branches. I want to half ignore a finding that trees too have intention, care for their offspring, redirect water through root and rhizome. As if talking trees were not enough. Now, what little nourishment is left to ingest guilt-free? The irony that I came across the word bisociation at a day job. Apparently incompatible but uncannily related frames of reference, leading to discovery. I take my cue from the leaves, loss of stem, separation from branch, bagged, consider lucky, left for pickup at the curb. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saba. It was Saba Hussein. Wonderful poetry, and thank you also to Carrie for her wonderful reading, and thank you to World Inkers Network for allowing us to live stream tonight. This will be on YouTube, and thank you all for participating and clapping and being here. We're glad to have you, and remember we have an open mic. You can sign up right here if you want to sign your name, and you can put your email if you want to be in contact with us for future events and publications. So where I'm going to we'll have an interlude, a little musical interlude with Ken Jones here. So bring up Ken Jones, and then we'll have our next feature.
Thank you, Dustin, and thank you, everybody, for the wonderful work that Ascendant Zero Press has done through the years. Excellent poetry. I think about Hemingway's Breakfast all the time, and very somber, good stuff about your upbringing and troubles over there. But I'm going to try to lighten things up a little bit. So this is a musical interlude. I'm just going to do a cover, a brief cover. There'll be some originals later, but we're waiting on Zach because for some reason he decided to leave. Why did you do that, dude? You can see that later. So Stephanie was noticing the twilight outside, which is actually a beautiful sunset. So I'm going to hack my way through a U2 song you may be familiar with from the album Boy. It's called Twilight. Let's see if I can pull this off. I've never played this piano either. I look into his eyes, but I see something. The teacher told me lies, and I laugh when old men cry. Twilight, twilight, can't find my way. Twilight, twilight, can't find my way. In the shadow, the boy meets the man. In the shadow, the boy meets the man. I look into his eyes, but I see something. Twilight, twilight, I can't find my way. In the shadow, the boy meets the man. In the shadow, the boy meets the man. So I hope everybody enjoyed the twilight, twilight. I can't find my way. Twilight, twilight, can't find your way. There's a little musical. Thank you very much. And now back to some poetry. All right. And Zach, get the hell here, man. So I have all these funny songs and you're not here. I bought him a kazoo today. Yeah, I'm very generous. All right. Thank you, Dustin. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Ken. Wonderful interlude there. You too. So our next feature, Kelly Ann Ellis. Wonderful person, wonderful poet, local. Come on up, read us and tell us a little bit about yourself. I'll be taking pictures, so watch out.
Hi. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm Kelly Ann Ellis, and I am happy to be here because I got my start writing poetry in this area. I was in a critique group with a woman, Mary Margaret Carlisle, and she was quite the mover and shaker. We lost her this year. But my first poem that I submitted to a festival won some money. And so I thought it would always be like that. And I want to read that because I wrote it in the days that Mary Margaret was moving and shaking and encouraging us. And my book, which I just came out this year, The Hungry Ghost Diner, deals with hungers of different kinds. And so this one is related to spiritual hunger. It's called The Stuff They Feed Us. What you eat, said Enkidu to his hooker friend. A moment on the lips, said Persephone to her pomegranate. Knowledge is power, said Eve, nakedly petulant. Power corrupts, God huffed. Absolutely, Satan smiled. Fragrant, fruity, not without a bite. Socrates swirled the wine. Thank you. No, not another bite. Buddha drooled on. I never found the food I liked, a hungry Kafka hissed. Don't want to be big and strong, the angry child sniffed. Wonder bread, Kool-Aid, the body, the blood of Christ. Open wide. So, since then, I've been a poet for many years, and the last 3 or 4 years, I guess in 2020, I started a nonprofit with a friend of mine, a literary nonprofit, and we started publishing a magazine called Equinox, and my youngest, Madeline, was our first editor, and I have one print version of it, and I want to read a poem from there. But the reason I'm mentioning it is that we have a call for submissions right now, and there's a $100 prize in 3 categories: poetry, short prose, and image art. And we have one winner, Saba, in the audience. She won 1 year for poetry, and so that was exciting to feature her work. So anyway, this poem is kind of about depression. I wrote it during the pandemic, but the prompt was right to Maya Angelou's Still I Rise. And I thought, I can't write to that. I'm not feeling that happy right now. So you'll recognize Still I Rise in there, but in a different spin. Resilience. My skin, this much stuffed sack, weighted with bones, blood, bile, not to mention pain, depression, in a bed where I wake and think, do I have to live another day? My life, a derailed junk drawer, stuck open, filled with scribbles, neither typed nor thrown away, snippets that might be trite, perhaps profound, untied to tumble down artifacts, crammed in bins. Art, facts, ticket stubs, lipstick, lint, poems, propaganda, letters from a friend who is dead, cursive, illegible, message, cryptic. I will never understand, yet still I rise. Rise like flies buzzing shit, an obsolete elevator where lovers once kissed. Sprinklers in summer, steam deserting hot concrete or a busted radiator, mud puddle vapor, the pissed off dog days souring dregs of July, helicopters, life flight, Dumbo, helium, bread. I rise because I am light, however tethered, buoyant. I, the cave that gapes for waves, invites high tide, ravine of peril and pearls ravenous for divers to dive, flail, find. I rise to eat to live. Life is louder than death is. Whose dirge drones on, too faint to drown this thrum of heart, wing beat of a butterfly, called to sojourn a path, unremembered. But she knows she's come home when she arrives. Finds a mountain sunlit in winter, sleeps, mates. More than the sum of my moving parts, I am that wind-driven starling, balloon-shaped heart, standard issue vessel, commandeered by blood. When will fails, I rise. So I wanted to have a few lighthearted ones, and this is about one of the few times I went to the opera, and I felt a little outclassed. And it's called Calling It Wrong. And I'm going to use my Kentucky voice. Calling It Wrong. When he took me to Madame Butterfly, I knew I should have worn black. These women got good gams, Italian shoes, shoulders like samurai swords. And here I am, made in Walmart. Don't dress up, he said. He don't know what that means to me. First time I heard Madam Butterfly, I was watching Glenn Close, pregnant, beyond glum, blubbering in the dark, stood up by Michael Douglas, home fondling his pretty wife. So boil the family bunny, find the nearest knife. Poor Glenn. Anyway, she died. It went better for Julia Roberts, sitting snazzy in that private jet, pocket candy for Richard Gere. Lucky Julia. She got the guy, proving redheads can wear red, prostitutes do love opera, and pretty women cry quite nicely over all the right parts. I cry too. Madam Butterfly wanes, moon-faced, as the moon makes its way to the lake. Music blooms. Come morning, slick with crumpled blossoms, tear cracks in her mask. She waits, blindfolds the baby, makes sure he sees. Nothing wrong with this life falling on a sword won't fix. Poor Butterfly. Somebody should have told her, honey, don't bother wearing black. This ain't no late night movie. Think Glenn, not Julia. A butterfly is a butterfly is a butterfly. Symbolism not lost, even on me. That was supposed to be lighthearted. I don't know what happened. Okay, so I think of my mother in February because her birthday was February 14th, and I lost her in February almost 20 years ago, 20 years ago this year. And so I wanted to read a couple about her. How many of you consider yourselves pretty organized, like you know where everything is? And, okay, one. How many of you have a junk drawer? Junk drawer at home. Okay, more than one. Okay, so this is about that, and it's about my mother. Spring clean. Bernice, I see you and I call you. Fruit fallen not far from the tree of your blue kitchen with white curtains and a junk drawer. You sport a sleeveless shift, sort dines, loose screws, damp S&H green stamps, needles rammed into spools of lime green thread, unused, box tops you meant to send in for something free you didn't need, and lids, lots, for lost Tupperware, bought because you give up the junk across your clean table, early American maple, Ethan Allen no less, bought when you got back to the States, coins clinking a hole in expat pockets. But it didn't last, went fast on paint from Glidden and a 4-poster bed, no canopy. Later, you said. But good went bad. Poverty, crumbs, cliche. It's all in your head, and better to have it and not need it. Is it? So poor your parents never dreamt to want more, and now I get what you got. The hoard, a sideboard where goods get pitched, just brimming with Verdant promise, like stamps already licked. So I have two more, and this February, I asked yesterday. Thank you.
You're 29?
Yes, and holding. So I have two, and one's a little bit on the dark side about being born. I guess you saw that coming. And the other is a happy one, and it's for my daughters. Birthmark. If you run your hands through my hair, you find the point at the back of my brain, scissor sharp where forceps clamped and dragged me into the light. The smack, the scream, my mother can't remember on her own psychotic episode that eradicated pain, made her forget nightmares ensuing, drugs to dry her up. I was a bitch of a baby, cried for 40 days in her wilderness. No respite, only my skull bears witness. Scary, no one sees. The soft spot, shaped by that which brought you out in spite. Okay, so they say you should always end with a happy poem so people like you and they remember you and they buy your book. I have a lot of them. So this is for my daughter, and they took me to Tulum for one of my decade birthdays. Actually, I was 29 still. But anyway, so this was about visiting a cenote in Tulum. And if you don't know, cenotes are pools that go very deep and into caverns. And the theory is that they were formed when meteors hit the Earth, like, billions of years ago. It's called Birthday. Birthday. In Tulum, the cenotes are holy, hot marks of long fallen stars. The coldest blue, swaddling stones so old. Here I can believe, almost, I am beautiful. Unoriginal sins clean gone. I dive, glide, float, grateful to my mother for my birth, her laugh, to my father who taught me to swim, arms and breath in tandem, to daughters who ushered me to this space, to friends slogging through the sacred cave of a poem penned quickly, maybe badly, transcribed by hand, the right one, belonging to a body I strive to love with the same tenacity as it loves me. Thank you.
Thank you, Kellyanne Ellis. I want to remind everyone we have the sign-up sheet right here. If you want to go ahead and sign up while we're waiting for Ken to come on up, he'll be the next performer, and he'll have some poetry and some novelty songs for you for the Light of Heart. So if you want to sign up, everybody, you have an opportunity. Go ahead and put your name on the sign-up sheet. So and we also have some books for sale, our copies of our journal. And so it'd be welcome. We'd love to have you up at the open mic. And thank you so much for participating and being here and listening in to our wonderful program. So thank you so much. And thanks to World Anchors Network again. And I hope you guys have a good time and good night for the Ken's performance. So here he is. Ken Jones.
All right, thank you. I'm going to be a musical interlude numero dos. We're in Texas. That means two. So I'm going to do a couple semi-serious songs, and hopefully we'll have the open mic, and then I'll bring up my buddies here, and we'll do a couple funny songs. But so this first song I'm going to do is about religion, and the reason I've thought about religion a lot through the years. I was a hardcore atheist as a kid. Of the Cub Scouts for not believing in God, a true story. I wouldn't say the Pledge of Allegiance, and so my mom got a call, said your heathen son is not going to be allowed in the Cub Scouts. And so through the years, I started thinking about why people value religion, and I've kind of become spiritual in my old age. So this song is sort of about why people believe in something, and it's also about it's called Congregation, and it's about why people come together. So I hope you enjoy it. And there are no solos, so you won't have to worry about that. It's called Congregation. It was on a record I put out called Brand New Start a while back. A CD, I guess. You don't make records anymore. So let's get this going here. To the mic. So we gathered all together in this stormy weather, held hands in a circle to pray that we'd make it through this strife and the precious breath of life. somehow wouldn't go away. Congregation, congregation, we raise our voices to the sky. Congregation, congregation, we're trying to figure why. So the sun started to shine and we were feeling fine. When the trade winds suddenly rolled in and the dark clouds grew huge like a deadly centrifuge. And we all knew that we spun in sin. So congregation, congregation, we raise our voices to the sky. Congregation, congregation, down here trying to figure why. That somehow in our binding we hope to be finding answer that never quite comes. And though the light is blinding and our path is ever winding, we know enough to know that we are dumb. So the dark clouds exploded as society imploded. Baptized in the hard, hard rain. And the answer still lies shrouded in our selfish crowds. Life is pain. Again and again and again and again and again and again. The congregation. Congregation. Alone in pairs in this lost nation. Congregation. Congregation. I wait for an answer at the station. I wait for an answer at the station. I wait for you to appear at the station. So when I started out as a musician in the 1980s, I was in a punk rock band in Austin, man, and we were hardcore punk, And so we tried to do a reunion a few years back. I started trying to learn some of the songs. Turns out we didn't write very good songs back then. They kind of sucked, actually. I don't know if you like punk rock. I love the Clash and people like that, but our songs were like 2 chords, 3 chords, and I was learning them, going, man, we were really not very good back then. But we had a lot of enthusiasm, and you were young in your early 20s. So Dustin was nice enough to put out a book of my punk rock lyrics from back in the day, which is called The Way Life Goes. And so I'm going to do, because you have to shamelessly sell your records and books when you're doing gigs, I'm going to do this song, which is only 2 chords. And the irony of this, the book is called The Way Life Goes, poet Ken Jones, song lyrics from the 1980s, and it's on Transcendent Zero Press. But the irony of this song is, it was our last song, and at the end I'm hearing, no more, no more, no more. And that was the end of the set. Unless we covered Lou Reed's Waiting for the Man or something. But, and so the ending of the set was no more screaming. And so now I'm going to do this, even though it's not no more. And so he sells the book for only $8, and 8 is a lucky number in China. So we put it out right before the pandemic, so we never sold any. So let's get Dustin's some money so he doesn't have to go out and sell himself on NASA Road 1. All right. Again, 2 chords, and maybe not the truth. It's called The Way Life Goes. E and G. Broken window looking out on whitewashed golden towers. She reclines on a black-faced mattress, sister dying flowers, waiting for the phone to ring with another broken promise it brings. She now knows the way life goes. She answers it, no more, no more, no more, no more, no more, no more, no more. Inside the tower, the great men sit in chairs of outback leather. They discuss Wall Street stocks, their daughters, wives, the weather. Still locked in arms of fear, both in masks of steely cheer. They now know the way life goes. They answer it, no more, no more, no more, no more, no more. Molasses streams of people pass, flowing toward a point, the greatest of human achievements. Can't knock these lines at a joint. Vertical cliffs rise high in the air and disappear. And then they now know the way life goes. They answer it. No more, no more, no more, no more. No more! No more! No more! No more! Quit playing, motherfucker! No more! And then the crowd was screaming, no more! No more! No more! No more! No more! No more! All right, thank you very much. What are we doing, Dustin? Where is Dustin?
I'm right here.
Dustin, are you selling yourself? What are you doing, Dustin?
I'm standing
Are you doing an open mic or what's going on?
You want to read a couple of poems? Or?
No.
You don't?
No, I've been in my woodshed now for a long time practicing, so I'm not big poetry.
Do you move on to the open mic, or do you want to do
Well, how many people do we have? Who is participating in the open mic this evening?
5?
Five. Okay. Or cinco, as we say here in Texas. Okay. Well, how do you want to do 2, break it up a little? I can come back to a song and 2 or 3, and then.
Yeah, let's do it that way.
Okay. All right. So you're in charge. Host Dustin Pickering of Church of the Lord.
Thank you, Ken Jones on the piano and obnoxious voice. Thank you all for being here. I want to introduce you to Mr. Open Mic Page here. If you haven't signed in, if you want to put your name on the list. If not, that's okay. We're live streaming as well, so we'll be here for another hour or so, and we'll be interspersing the open mic with some of Ken's music again. We'll go ahead and grab this sheet here and call some people up. Okay, so we have, looks like Charles Callahan. Would you like to come first, or would you want to wait? Or, all right, love to have you. Thank you so much. Sign-up sheets right here. We have some books. We have a couple of cards for our ZM and myself. I'm going to pick that up. Those cards are free. The books are very expensive. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Can you hear me all right? Can you?
Lower the microphone.
I went through a period in the mid-'80s of writing poetry. Here it is. And I've got 2 poems tonight. The last time we had an open mic poetry, I read 2, but they were kind of serious. These are frivolous. They This first one is all about sitting on your porch and swatting flies. There is a knack to swatting flies to just do the job so that you'll hear their cries. Taking account of wind and speed, kill them quick before they feed. Buzzing around and then they land, bringing them down with the back of your hand, brings cries of joy from friends and kin, a hearty laugh and a big dumb grin. Put your coffee on the sill, you watch them land and drink their fill. Gently flicks them in, they squirm and flap and buzz and spin. How restful, relaxing, and refreshing evenings are. How far better than driving your car. Horseflies and green ones that land on your porch become flames of delight when hit with a torch. The big butane lighter's the one. Turn up the flame and watch the fun. Video games and books and TV aren't near as exciting, and killing flies is free. Before history, writing, government, and war, medicine was magic. Men licked at their sores. But even back then, when flies were around, they'd get out their arrows and fun would abound. You can, like cavemen, lick at your sores, or you can pick up your swatter and open the doors. You can sit back, relax, and stretch out. Ready your swatter and give him a clout. There are those who just work for the money, and there are those who work just to buy honey. They spread it all over the sidewalk, you see, attracting the flies. They shoot them with glee. So if hearing this poem has opened your world, sit on your porch and bark like a squirrel. Squirrels may not come, but the premise is sound. If you sit there long enough, flies will abound. And one equally as frivolous, I don't know that they have whippoorwills in Texas this far south. They do in Arkansas and they do in Missouri. And it goes all night long. So I wrote a poem about it. Sound asleep by day on the forest floor, silently still, they sleep till they can sleep no more. Soundlessly they fly and soar and light and listen. Just outside the window, just outside they listen. Listening, they hear your talk, what you say. Listening, they tell you if you've been good this day. Listening, they decide if you deserve the rest this night. Just outside the window, just outside in the night. Night is when they rule your sleep. Night is when your thoughts are deep. Night is when your soul they seek. Just outside your window, just outside they'll shriek. Whippoorwill they'll call if you've been mad. Whippoorwill they'll call if you've been sad. Whippoorwill they'll call if you desire rest. They'll seek your soul they'll test. Hour after hour they'll say whippoorwill. Hour after hour till you've had your fill. Hour after hour you'll lay awake. Your soul will cringe and shake. You'll lie and think of ways to kill your tormenting, unrelenting whippoorwill. You'll forget the problems that nag your soul. Lying there, the bird's death becomes the goal. Of ways to slowly maim and kill, of torturing and tearing the whippoorwill. Of mindless rage, you'll plunge your thoughts. You'll tie your stomach and minds in knots. The morning comes and you'll finally find the bird is gone, but so's your mind. There'll be no problems with which to deal. You can see reality. Life has no feel. They'll come and slowly study you. They'll punch and probe and smile and coo. They'll pick you up and take you away. In a padded room, you'll always stay. So in the summer, in the night, so when you've mad or had a fight, since you don't know if it be listening with open beak and tongue that's glistening, so be kind to those who live with you. Be nice to them. Birds deciding to whom he'll trill the deadly whippoorwill. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very charming poetry, Charles, and thanks for being here. I'm going to turn the rest of the open mic over to my colleague and friend and consort, ZM Wise. Just go through and go through. Got it. We have an artist in the corner there. It is Gabby. Her works are for sale as well. If you want to take a look, it'd be wonderful. I'm sure she'd like some appraisals and some nice words. So thanks for all being here tonight.
If you can, please stick around till the bittersweet end for Dustin and I will be performing our pieces as well. So our next performer is Ariel Weber. Come on up.
It's okay. There you
Hello there. I'm going to be reading some poetry that I wrote a couple of years ago. As we've seen tonight, the art of poetry can mean a lot of things to different people. We get into the medium for a number of different reasons. So the piece I picked tonight is called What is Writing? What is writing? Writing is more than just words. It's putting pen to paper, breathing words to life. Writing is something beautiful. Yes. Writing is sweet but sour. Writing is terrifying yet soothing. Writing is humid yet frigid. Like maidens to gorgons, like candy to limes, like werewolves to waterfalls, like magma to dry ice. Writing is anything imaginable, a combustion of hidden genius, with the gears of creativity cranked into overdrive. Here, the page is your canvas, and you will create the most beautiful Mona Lisa. Your words serving as a kaleidoscope, sweeping the reader out of their seat and transporting them into not just a world, but galaxies. Amongst a vast expanse of our universe, shining. It is through this path one is granted compass to explore, venture out of their seclusion, their tragedy, their flaws, even their self-loathing. For in this instance, they are one. They are complete. And without a doubt, they can look upon themselves with gratitude, knowing that they have gave birth to something with meaning, something of purpose, and passion, and fortitude. And even when you are gone, relish this have not. Because no matter how worn the page's spine has become, no matter how the ink fades, no matter how many centuries have passed, your voice will be heard, your message will live on, and your writing will remain for all eternity. So, what is writing, you ask? Well, it's everything. Thank you. This next piece is a short one, but it's very atmospheric. I hope you all like it. It's called Shattered Beauty. A color shines his light, solemnly, cast upon shimmering pieces, shattered and melancholy, reflecting shades of pain and priestess. Reds of fire, vestigial flame, blues of depression, waiting for a frame, greens like the leaves she will dream to see, and violets like the grapes dangling free. She cultivated the shards, restricted in her heart. Songs like the muses, as she picked them apart. The colors all sparkling, she left them in the window. Her body rots in the earth, a mosaic, violently crescendos. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Come on up back, Jim.
Amazing job, Ariel. I was actually telling you it's got a great name for a poet, especially. It's the Ariel title of an amazing Sylvia Plath book. So may she rest in power. Next up is Mark Castaneda. Sorry if anyone else is. Yeah.
That works.
All right.
Mark's good.
Okay, that's not working.
Just pull it up. Just pull it.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Mark. Thank you all for letting me share this space with you tonight. Can we just thank Java Al? Like, what a great vibe. What a great atmosphere. Okay, I got two short ones, so I'm just going to dive right into it. Our daughters caught disease, like summer fire to winter trees. It's spreading like the plague, it's closing in. And as static's leaping to our eyes off television screens, we are thrown into a war we'll never win. I am a sun and I am burning, so I'll hide behind the moon. There's nothing left but a cover-up for a temper never soothed. The difference between a martyr and an all-enlightened saint is in how we are remembered, how the readers turn their page. The stories are unwinding. Let's all watch as they unfold. We're scared to act, but what's unseen is what goes left untold. Thank you. Somehow, in the arms of would-be gods, we learn to cradle ourselves. Obsessed with our own old souls and the youth that love has lost. Somewhere in a stark and shuttered tomorrow, change hides and is but a comfort. A comfort, a culture of fear and a harbinger for hope that we might look back on today and smile. Thank you. Woo!
Amazing job, Mark. So I was thinking, this applies to any area of the arts. How many poets does it take to screw in a light bulb? 10. One to screw it in, the other 9 to say, I could have done it that way. Kevin, is Envy Room ready? Nope. All right, we are skipping that. Someone who I haven't seen perform in ages, ever since she and her now husband met. An amazing writer, always full of thought-provoking pieces. It's actually how I learned about Amanda Todd back in the day. Come on up, Jessica. It's your turn.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like I just push it down.
Yeah, push it down. There you go.
Lower. Lower. A little lower. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so I haven't written in a good 8 years. This is going to be a slight trigger warning. A little bit. Whew, nervous. Do you remember their screams, the terror and agony booming through the hallways, his evil intentions and devilish actions, killing the innocence of the survivors? making friends out of their lives, not even old enough to experience love for the first time, now living their greatest tragedy. From certificates to caskets, who knew the world could be so cruel? Parents pleading and breaking down to who should be their heroes, only for them to be cowardly accessories to their never-ending nightmare. How can you look yourself in the mirror? Going on day by day, wearing a badge you know you don't deserve, pretending your actions were justifiable. You ran away wearing a bulletproof vest, while all they had were light-up shoes and cartoon characters. They were young and full of life, while your department is full of lies. Police are supposed to protect and serve. My question is, serve and protect too. Woo!
Thank you very much, Dustin. What? So, Ken found his Kia, where Ken's going to come up and perform a piece or two, and he's going to have us volunteer, so my condolences.
Okay, so there you go. Open up your instruments, gentlemen. Yeah, I think Justice gave you the title of my next record. I'm a walking trigger warning. So I'm going to show you that anybody can be a musician. I've got these two friends of mine. I just gave you kazoos. And they're going to play along on this song that I wrote. And this song, I've never played it, but I'm doing this as a special favor to two friends of mine, Mike and Becky Richardson. If you're watching on the live cast, you see it eventually. I love you guys. Thanks for putting me up the other day. And so if you lived down here a few years back, somewhere in Baytown, Bayside, Bayshore, on the dock of Bay, something. So Becky's mom ended up holding her husband hostage, and she got on the news. Maybe you saw it. It's called the Pistol Packing Granny. I don't know if you saw that particular report. So it inspired me. So I wrote a song called Pistol Packing Granny. It's supposed to be rockabilly, but I can't play rockabilly.
Not unlike the Andrews Sisters.
Pardon me?
Not unlike the Andrews Sisters.
Yeah, well, yeah, right, yes, exactly. I like drinking rum and Coca-Cola and carrying a pistol.
Right.
But so Zach's going to channel his inner Cat Stevens. Dustin will channel his inner Jelly Roll. And I will attempt to sing this song for Mike and Becky. You guys. I've never even recorded it, played it live, so I'll probably suck at it. And you know what the cue is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. This goes at the end of the cue. Yeah. Get in the kiss what the British call a line. All right. Well, the last time I saw her, she was at a grandkid's party. I did kind of notice she was acting kind of wacky. But I got shocked when I watched the news. Granny's got a gun, and Grandpa's got the blues. Look out! Very enthusiastic. Look out! Here comes the pistol-packing Granny. Don't look like she'd make a good nanny. Well, the SWAT team came and surrounded that place. 5 hours later, with a smile on her face, Granny was released and taken to jail. Now I understand, it never fails. Look out! Thank you. Here comes the pistol packing Granny. Grandpa should have smacked her on the face. Y'all are wonderful, by the way. Oh, proof positive. Anyone can be a musician. Down at the jail, everyone knew her name. Whatever it takes to win some fame.
I'm not quite sure if it's awesome or lame, but Granny's Gone Wild is the #1 video game. Look out! Out! Look out! Here comes the pistol backing man! Free as a bird, but that's kind of wacky. That's the end of that masterpiece. And I do expect this to be framed in the Louvre someday, but I know I'm not French, so I don't know. Yeah, play, right? But next to Captain Crunch with chicken.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Okay, so to interlude right now, and we'll get back to the poetry, and we'll return with my friends here, the master musicians, Zach and Dustin, kazoo champions of the world.
Thank you, Mike.
Oh, they are my Wait, I learned everything I know from you.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. More fun than a barrel of flying monkeys, that was. Just still. So I saw these guys their debut concert a week ago tonight, and I was just blown away. Like sincerely, they've got quite a wild sound. They're called Envy Room. It's made up of my friend Kevin Impulse in the middle there. There's Eli Hopeful on the left, and Acidic is right there. Johnny Valentine and the Space Cowboy are not present, but you can see them online. They recently released their debut single called Never Let Go, and they're going to be performing it acoustically tonight for you. So, Envy Room, get your ass up here.
How y'all doing tonight? We are short 2 band members, but they're with us in spirit. They wish they could be here, but we're glad we were able to come and represent Envy Room for you guys. Y'all can check us out on Apple Music, YouTube Music, Spotify, everything you can think of. We're on there. And anyway, this is our song Never Let Go. Initially planned to play just one song, but Zach over here gave me the thumbs up to go for one more. Everybody welcome our drummer, Mr. Space Cowboy over there. Get over here, man.
It's what you call improv.
Can you? This song is about the greatest city in the entire world, Houston, Texas.
It's been a while, what you've been doing nowadays. I've traveled through miles, trying to forget this old damn place. Remember the time we were so stupid and so young. We've had a fight, so now we lost and so we won. Then when my days are never I said we're chilling I said I know I'll be okay. I said whoa. Sometimes I wanna be sooner than I want. Some other people can't boy around being such buds. Remember the time we were so stupid and so young. We've had a fight, some now we lost and some we won. I said when my days are never I said where I'm chilling I said where I know I'll be okay. I said whoa.
Thank you all so much. We are Indie Room from right here in Houston, Texas. Follow us on Instagram if you want, Indie Room HDX. Thank you all for your support. Thank you.
So I want to go ahead and just give this beautiful, beautiful place, Java Owl, another plug. Please tip your baristas. Thank you so much for letting use this. This place has one of the best atmospheres, hands down. So thank you very much. for that. Tip your baristas. That's crazy concerning like reading my own work. At first I was very indecisive about what I was going to read. Now I'm just not sure. So that works, right? Sometimes it's funnier when the people in your head start laughing. Next up we have Arthur. Woo! Crazy, huh?
Hello, everybody. I'm hoping that the guitar is in tune. Yeah, we were just playing this song earlier this afternoon, and it's nice, so it seems like it's fitting. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know if we should have the lyrics or not. Well, we can see it. We'll see how far I get through it. That's all good.
Go for it.
Yeah. Well, it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He says, "Son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes. It's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. Oh, la da dee da, la da dee da 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 da. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. We're all in the mood for a melody, and you got us feeling alright." Well, John at the bar is a friend of mine. He gets me my drinks for free. But he's quick with a joke and to light up your smoke. But there's some place that he'd rather be. He says, "Bill, I believe that he," as the smile ran away from his face. "Yes, I do believe that I could be a movie star if I could get out of this place. Oh, la da da diddy da, la da diddy da 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 da." Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. But we're all in the mood for a melody, and you got us feeling alright. Well, Paul is a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. And he's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. And the waitress is practicing politics as the businessman slowly gets stoned. And they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. We're all in the mood for a melody, and you got us feeling alright. Well, it's a pretty good crowd for a Saturday, and the manager gives me a smile. 'cause they knows that it's me they've been coming to see, to forget about life for a while. And the piano, it sounds like a carnival, and the microphone smells like a beer. Then they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. We're all in the mood for a melody, and you got us feeling alright. Woo!
Hell of a job, Arthur. Billy Joel himself couldn't be prouder.
Right on the chat.
Next up, we have Miss Nicole. Come on up. Woo!
I need my phone from John over there pouring the coffee. He can't hear me.
She's just getting her phone. So my good friend from out of town says hello. So we're ready for speech therapy, right? Okay. Okay. Please get back.
That's a hell of a lead to follow. I'm just letting you know. So thanks for that. No pressure at all. Okay, I write like a lot, and I have, but I have never done this. So if I get a little shaky, I'm sorry. I'm terrified. So anyways, my heart is pounding right now. Okay, and as I said, I write quite a bit, but this one is just a little bit special. So, all right, and I'm kind of dark. Don't you dare bring them. So, anyways, okay. To darkness it was born, and in darkness it crept, and wept of the life. It rolled in the sand that swept across the earth.